you through what is trending this morning. It's a Friday morning, right? So it's been a long week, and I think it's only proper to start with what some are describing as a Christmas gift from Dangote refineries, and that's the fact that petrol from Dangote Refinery Limited has been slashed to 899 naira 50 kobo. Some say it's just 900, but just to be precise, it's 899 naira 50 kobo
from
litre.
From where it was?
From what? It was 970. Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
It was reduced to 970 at first.
Okay.
That was last month, I think. But now it's been said that it will be 899 naira 50 kobo.
Well, okay. Nigerians are not particularly excited because even now, petrol is being purchased for 1,040 naira per litre.
Right.
And this Christmas gift, let's reiterate, it's only a Christmas gift.
So at the end of the day, so let's be clear.
January 2nd, it's over.
It doesn't mean you're going to go to Dangote Refinery and buy the fuel. This is wholesale price for those who are lifting from the refinery. So because when people hear this, they feel that I can go to Dangote doesn't have a refinery. The wholesaler.
It doesn't have a petrol station.
It doesn't have a petrol station. My apologies. I almost took away his refinery. There's a wholesale price, so the marketers will not add the margin, so it will be lesser than it. So we should be buying fuel lesser or less than 1,000 naira. This is what it should be.
Should be. If the marketers are getting it from Dangote Refinery.
Shaibu Sam says, we just hope that one day it will go back to 15 naira that we used to enjoy in those good old days. That's like ambitious 2025 budget of 15% inflation that would not happen.
Well, Abba Al-Khali says, that's a major news. Dangote cutting the petrol price to 899 naira. I must add 50 kobo per litre could shake things up a bit. Even if people are a bit numb to small changes, this might still have some positive impact. For how long? That's the question.
Well, Paul Rodney captures this very interesting way, and it's a question. Is the slash price to the wholesalers or to the consumers? It goes on to say, if it's for the wholesalers, it does not change anything. Some of the wholesalers add theirs to sell to customers. It will still be on the very high side. So nothing has changed. This user believes, I have to do some editing there, but you get the sense of what Rodney is trying to say.
I did that Arsenal says, we'll get there. But I still believe this is the cheapest in the world, though I stand to be corrected. I don't like that comparison of cheap. I don't know, it just pisses me off.
It's rather annoying because you must also look at the other economic indicators in other parts of the world where petrol is reportedly cheaper than Nigeria before you begin to make comparisons. More often than not, the comparisons are inadequate.
But we have to understand that these things are international market prices, right? We talk about gold, for example. You don't say, how much is gold in Nigeria? You know how much a gold bar is. And that's how you now sell gold in Nigeria, even crude oil, right? The price is determined internationally. Then we now say, oh, in fact, that's what our budget estimate is based on, international price, not our own price, right? So to a large extent, I think it's fair to still do the comparisons. Now we can talk about, oh, we own this, so people should at least enjoy the benefit of owning this in that sense.
There's nothing wrong with the comparison. It's just, there's something called convenience cherry picking. You understand? So it's like a straw man's argument. Look for the worst to compare to knock out your opponent. There's nothing wrong. In fact, that's how you evaluate whether you're doing well or you're doing wrong. It's where it pisses someone off is when it's always on the downside and you begin to compare. So let's begin to look at how other countries are cutting certain costs at the administrative level, and let's also cut it as much as that.
Let's talk about their minimum wage.
So precisely.
So let's make it holistic. That's the point.
And to make
it's not just looking at. That's why I call it convenient cherry picking.
To make it holistic, in other parts of the world where petrol is reportedly cheaper sometimes than Nigeria, apart from all of this other indicators that you're talking about, when the price of crude oil goes down in the international market, petrol price goes down in those countries, but it never goes down in Nigeria. So it's important to emphasize that. So we might be asking the regulatory authorities why Nigeria is the exception to the rule in that regard.
Well, we will get there someday. Let's be hopeful, Let's just be hopeful just someday. But let's get to the issue of the organizers of the Oyo Christmas event that claimed multiple lives. being arrested. You know that incident that occurred in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. We understand an ex-queen of the Oni of Ife was the sponsor of that particular event, but for whatever reason, there was a stampede and 35 miners lost their lives and others were injured. These are your reactions. The police has taken a couple of persons into custody, and these are your reactions. Tizo, you said those are not the only people that need to be arrested. Investigate and also arrest the people that started the stampede.
And Scholarly Daniel, I hope I got your name, says he's asking, or they're asking, why did they arrest organizers of the Ibadan Christmas giveaway party? I mean, what happened is not their fault. They're just organizers. Well, this is sentimental. You know, we must get to the bottom of the matter before we determine what exactly went wrong or not. Some people have to bear some form of responsibility. So away from sentiment.
Well, speaking of that, we'll be having some authorities speak on that on the show this morning to give you all of those angles and the updates. It's important to stay with that story. So stay with us right here on the morning brief. In just a few minutes, we'll bring you more updates. So let's continue with what you've been saying. Celestine Sunday has this post on X saying this is just a sign of the hardship in the country, as they had made plans for 5,000 kids and 7,500 showed up. This just says the hardship is real. If things weren't this bad, some of those kids would have stayed back at home.
It's quite unfortunate. Our thoughts and our prayers are with those kids, and we hope that the authorities will get to the bottom of it, and those found culpable should be made to face the full wrath of the law. But let's move on now to other things that has to do with the forfeiture or final forfeiture of warehouses and containers that is linked to the former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele. There's a lot going on with Emefiele, linking. Remember the seizure that was done by the EFCC. Also, people are saying it links to Emefiele. Oluwa Damilare says, I don't see Emefiele coming out of this mess anytime soon. It's difficult to believe that even if Emefiele did this, allegedly, he cannot be the only one in this loop. So maybe he's a poster boy for all of this. We do not know. Bukola and Kyrie.
Well, Kyrie, go ahead.
Well, the next one is this user,
Nathan.
Kwame. I see it says...
you skipped Nathan?
I thought you took Nathan already.
No, I took Oluwa Damilare.
I see. It says the way they are tactically retrieving his loot is recommended. I imagine you're saying commendable. By the time this case comes to an end, I don't think this man will have anything left worthy former CBN governor. Whatever the case is, the law should just be followed and ensure that things are done right. We don't want trials on media. Let the trial really happen in court and let the court do their jobs. If that happens, then I think a lot of people can say this case was handled very well.
And let's also presume his innocence until he's proven guilty before we continue to make conclusions. Nonetheless, the case is mind-boggling, the weight of properties that have been discovered and linked to this trial. Kwame says, seeing the current situation this man is at the moment, some people will still choose illegal money over good name. A lot to think about there.
So the other day I saw that the MBS came out to say their sites have been hacked. I know you're a technology man. How can MBS site? What are they actually looking for? I've been processing it.
I mean, I think taking control of a major website such as that is a big deal.
I know.
I mean, people hack personal websites, right? But I think it's a big deal.
No, I know it's a big deal, but I'm thinking, what are they trying to...
maybe recalculate the unemployment
rebase illegally, because we're trying to rebase actually.
It might also be a way. It's like kidnapping, right?
Yeah.
You kidnap and then you get ransom for that in that sense.
By the way,
so you kidnap the website and say, you know what? If you want to get your website back, pay this amount. I know it's not funny, but that's another way to.
After all, we saw the ransom numbers. Are you sure it's not kidnappers that went after MBS? Because I remember it's MBS that released that number that said that 2023 May to April 2024, the amount people paid for ransom is over 2 trillion. So the ransom seekers have gone after the MBS.
After the MBS, right?
So MBS should disclose to us how much they have to pay. The MBS can disown
this website and build another website.
They actually just worked on it. So I think sometimes it happens in that process. Some things are lost, some people get access, or there's some sort of vulnerability. Just like a wall you get. So there's some vulnerability and then they get it.
All right, so
most sought after websites in Nigeria, INEC website, MBS website.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful with, the security infrastructure.
So whatever
backing up these websites.
whatever report you've probably seen or downloaded within that space, please discountenance. And this is actually a major issue. It's a major issue, really, because it's data. Right?
it's our nation.
You don't know what has been messed with. So I imagine that MBS will do like a proper forensic audit and is able to identify.
Give us a report.
Because we don't want to be quoting. A lot of people, media houses will not go on MBS's website anymore.
Right now.
To get data.
Right now.
Yeah, just like INEC had said, they had glitch that we don't understand till tomorrow. So we'll get to look at all of this. Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the very first conversation for the program. Join us again.